on Saturday against the Saints. As you heard, Michael Bankston joins us now on the Right to It guest line. Mike, could you, or what's your opinion on starters in preseason? Are you in favor of it, or would you rather them sit so they don't get hurt?
I mean, when you think about it, Dan, that goes both ways. And the only reason it goes both ways is the fact that I've been there when you was a starter, and I really didn't want to play that much in the preseason. So all they did was, you play one series on the first game, second game you play like a couple of series, and then we had 4 preseason at that time. So the third game they try to go into halftime and have you come back out to see how you respond after you sit for a while to go back out into the game. And then the fourth game, you really didn't play that much, almost like the first game. So, but I think these guys, especially the young guys, got to get acclimated. Robinson, Harrison, all those guys got to get acclimated on the speed of the game, because right now in practice, they're not practicing like we practiced back in the day. It's a little different nowadays. It's more so of a country club. So guys get to run around in shells most of the time. And really don't get the feel of what live bullets are about.
And I think to your point there, Banks, it depends on what kind of a team you have. Is it a veteran-laden team that can, get a few reps here and there and be ready to go, or is it a young group that you're talking about? Then you watch, the Kansas City Chiefs and a lot of teams that are successful year in and year out. They're playing their guys early on in the first quarter. Andy Reid came out the other day and said, "My guys are playing the entire first quarter," that being his starters.
And you know what? And as you can see, they've been on the top of the totem pole for the last few years. Actually, more than that, but and credit and kudos to them, because that means that their players are bought into their system and they know they need to get ready for the regular season. Like when my first 2 years, and I only can go on myself because even though I've seen many other players, I only could go on myself. I just knew I wasn't there yet to say it's okay. So I played most of the preseasons for the first 2 years because I know I had to be that person, or had to go over and beyond so they can see, like, okay, this guy is something to contend with. The young guys, hopefully they're hungry, because nowadays you got all the preseason games before they make cuts. So those guys got all those opportunities, 3 games, and then they make that massive cut at the end of it. Take advantage of all opportunities. Yeah, you got the high rounders like Robinson, Harrison, all those guys, a little high rounders. They might have a little more leeway, but you can't go in there with that approach. You got to go in there approach that I want to be a pro, and I want to play like a pro and act like a pro, and then you have to learn to be a pro. And Dan, that.
Speaking of that, from the defensive side, Darius Robinson, Xavier Thomas, Max Melton at corner. How much is enough these first 3 preseason games, who guys will probably start as rookies?
Well, I mean, they need to get as many reps as they can. And you got to think about it. You go against the Saints, and Saints got the same mindset, and for the most part. Most teams have the same mindset. You mentioned Kansas City; they'll play their players a little more. Their starters for the that they would have in a regular season. But most teams, they'll set them out just like when you see in Canton, Ohio. You got Caleb Williams and all those guys set out, and then you just hope that they are ready when it's time to be ready. But if I was a young guy, I don't care what round I went, I need to prove myself. Just because you first rounder and you haven't taken the live bullet snaps in the NFL, it's totally different. If I was him, Robinson, all those guys, go out there, get some reps in, get understanding playing against an opponent, because they didn't have an opponent, during training camp like some teams does, and then to prepare themselves for the regular season if they really want to be here for longevity, not just for a temporary amount of time, especially with a defensive lineman and you're in the trenches. It's kind of tough.
Michael Bankston's our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Banks, my question is a follow-up to what you were just discussing, and that is, do you believe now in the last 3, maybe 4 years, the mentality of rookies coming in is totally different now than what it was when you played, obviously when Manuch played? Just the tactic and the thought process is different now.
They come in millionaires already.
Okay.
So they come in millionaires for the NIL situation. I just hope that these guys, and I mean this with all sincerity, learn to be a pro. With everything that's going on, with all the opportunities that he had, learn to be a pro. They compared Marvin to Larry because he's humble and all those things. But Marvin also had his dad helping him to become a pro and be in this situation, and he was a humble person. So he took advantage of knowing what his father's like, and he's taking it to the next level. I think he's going to do great just because of that. But I hope the other guys follow suit, especially the young guys, Benson, also Robinson, all those young guys. I hope they understand what it takes to become a pro and then stay in this league, not just for 1 year, but for several years.
So Banks put this new 4-3 front, the defense. A lot of Cardinal fans are going to see Nick Ross, a defensive coordinator, 4 guys coming at it, the 3 linebackers. Do you feel with this personnel that they can look to stop the run this year, more pressure on the quarterback per se? Is that what you're looking forward to? And if they're Cardinal fans, will we see any of that improvement in preseason?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that Xavier Collins, since they gave him that extension, take it to heart that they really believe in him. And the only reason I'm mentioning his name right now is the fact that he should be a leader at this point in stage in his career. I know it's still early, but he has the opportunity to lead these guys, especially linebacker crew, and also the defensive line crew because he also played DN for most of the season last year. So with that being said, preseason, you hope they get a continuity with the team where they can, especially on the defensive side of the ball, rush the passer for DBs, either interceptions or pass breakup or tight coverage. For linebackers coming downhill and then making sure they stay underneath the pass routes so it makes it difficult for the quarterback to throw over top. And for the D linemen, it's going to always be the same. Stop and run, rush the passer.
And it seems as though Dennis Gardeck is kind of that utility player linebacker. It looks like the Cardinals are signing a few linebackers, experienced linebackers, to come in and look at that spot that B.J. Ojulari is out for the year with. Dennis, serviceable, but if you can improve that spot with a veteran, got to be all for it, I imagine.
Well, yeah, I like Dennis. I mean, I'll be honest, I like Dennis as a player, and I like Dennis as a community leader because I done multiple things with him throughout the year, and I just love the kid. I'll just be honest. But any improvement that you can make as far as, being able to get back to that pass, get back to the quarterback, stop some more runs, get some pressure. It's not always about sacks a lot of times, and you know that. It's about pressure, making the quarterback throw some bad throws and giving the DBs the opportunity or the linebackers the opportunity to make an interception or a knockdown, PD. So Dennis is just a hard worker, and he's a guy that you can depend on. But anytime you get an opportunity to improve those positions, that's just the NFL. I've been there. They had guys that they try to put in front of me all the time that were younger, that were stronger, that were faster, whatever the case may be. It is what it is. It's just how the NFL is, and you always want to put your best players on the field to give yourself the best opportunity to win the game.
Banks, my follow-up to that then is the guys that are out there right now that are still available. I don't think they're going to really help the Cardinals because they're not signed by anybody. So they're either older or they're not experienced enough or they're not that good of a player. For me, the way I look at it, you would have to make some sort of a trade in order to shore up that particular position. Is that fair or not?
I mean, that's fair in the assets. I mean, in the essence of you want to get one of those predominant players that's already been proven. in the league and has been doing a great thing. On the flip side of what you said before, Tom, you might can get that player that's just hungry enough through free agency or just the fact that they just lingering out there waiting to get signed, but they hungry and they still have the capability to play their positions real well. When you mentioned the older spot, this league is going more young unless you're a quarterback. They don't mind you being so old as a quarterback. But other than that, unless you're dominant, if you're dominant in your position, you'll probably have a little more tenure. But other than that, they don't mind going younger because they get paid less.
So what are you going to look for Saturday night? What's one thing Michael Banks is going to look for to see if this
A hot dog.
defense is moving on?
Maybe some nachos. What else are you going to be looking for?
He's in
there?
a suite, right? He gets served.
Well,
He'll get served.
Michael, I know you. Big old burger,
hold on.
maybe chicken sandwich, some barbecue.
Hold on. Well, first of all, after my golf game, I'll probably be hungry. And yes, I will partake, and I'll probably be at some. And I'm gonna be quite frank, and I'll just be straight up. I'll probably be at some cigar bar watching the game because I just like to smoke a cigar
Yeah,
while I'm watching it. Watching the game. So that's probably where I'll be. Well, let me take that back. Unless my wife has something for me, and then everything's shut down.
Smart man, Banks.
So I
Smart
guess.
man.
So I saw that they released like all these new menu items there at the stadium. A cotton candy burrito. Would you be all in on that?
Wow.
Negative. That just don't even sound right. Cotton candy burrito. Unless I was like 12 years old and I'm like, I love some cotton candy, maybe. But no, I'm too old for that.
Michael, we'll see you, man, soon. So thanks so much for the time today. Appreciate you.
Hey, you guys keep up the great work. I'm looking forward for this season. Anytime it's football time, we know how it goes. Anytime y'all need me, I'll be there for you. I know I missed a few because I got concussions. I apologize.
Right.
But other than that, I'll be here for you.
You got it. All right. I need somebody taking my trash can. Can you do that? I'm going to be running a little late.
If I take your trash can, then I'm messing you up because I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't taking nobody's trash out by my own.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. That's the big bank. Michael Bankston here on Rock Manooch with Jimmy B. By the way, a little local product may get the start tonight. Jack Plummer for Carolina, as Bryce Young and Andy Dalton are not going to get to go tonight. That game's going to be in the NFL Network as they are in New England. So Jack Plummer, who had like 3 or 4 stops, Purdue, Cal,
Louisville,
yeah.
Gilbert High School, and
He played pretty well at Louisville.
Did you train him?
I did not train him.
Oh,
Didn't
never
get a
mind
chance to
then.
train him. I wish I could have. He might have been a first-round picker.
So how about Spencer Rattler? We'll see him. Sorry,
Did
he's a
not
local
train
guy.
him. No, did not
Have
train
you
him.
trained anybody any
Yeah,
good?
yeah, come on, man.
This Brock Purdy guy's not bad.
I don't know, man. He threw 2 interceptions today at practice.
That's all
There's
right.
a big concern about that. I mean, I was watching NFL Network this morning, and they're making a big deal of that.
Oh,
Brock
come on.
threw 2 interceptions today in practice.
You're trying new things out. You do
sophomore year slump. I mean, I
Should be his
don't
third
know.
year. Be his third
Well,
year.
third year slump. I mean,
Okay.
well, he didn't play his first year, so that's really his second
What did he
year.
play his first year? Took him to the dang near NFC Championship
You got
game.
hurt in the championship game.
I don't know, man. It's just 2 interceptions. I'd be concerned.
Preseason.
Didn't Patrick Mahomes, like in a practice session, throw like 7 picks?
He did. He had you try new stuff.
Yeah.
Try to force it here, force it. You learn during preseason not to do that during the regular season.
All right, we're Twin Peaks Tempe. We need a contestant to challenge one of the beautiful girls here from Tempe. We'll take the 5th caller at 602-260-9191. And the games they will be picking is the one we just mentioned,